Alright, what is going on everybody? I'm bringing you another video today and I think this is going to be a good help. So I'm going to make this video about Guild Wars, how I attack the base, how I look at the base, and really how I decide where to drop my heroes, because hero placement is a huge thing to turn the tide in your favors as far as when you're attacking, especially using a method like the method that I'm using. So we're going to jump right into this and I'm going to basically show you what my thoughts are as I'm doing it. So once we get in here, I'm going to pause this right here. So we have key. So as I look at the base, I notice that there's a 5 of 5 Ares at the bottom. There's a Golem with 5 Revite as well. And basically what I want to do is I want to try to stick clear of some of the heroes. So I want to split the base. I don't want to verse all 6 heroes at one time. So what I'm going to do to do that, I'm going to drop one hero in a corner that I can draw. So I took the towers with him and I dropped my Skull Knight at the top of this base right here for one specific reason. Once he attacks this, he's going to walk all the way around and come up to attack one of these two buildings right here. By doing so, you leave the heroes that are on these far two bases out of the question. So they're not going to come over and attack my heroes right away. Now, will they do it as he moves forward into the base? Obviously they're going to come across, but in the beginning I'm going to trap just a few heroes in this corner, and then I'm still going to have Dread Drake going off. So I'm going to start this again and you're going to see exactly what happens. So at first I have all those heroes coming over, but right now their heroes are dead. So my team is essentially taking on their whole team right now. So in this case, I'm not able to split the whole base to get them off, but you can see I dropped about 2 of the heroes right off the start, and all of them are under an Ares Calamity, so none of them have energy for when my team spawns up. Just like that, Skull Knight spawns up, and this pretty much is an easy wipe from that point. So the guys on the farthest point right here and right here got delayed and couldn't get there quick enough. So we're going to try the same thing here. So we're going to go to Tigor. I'm going to back this up a little bit so I can show the full base. And what I'm going to do is, as soon as this pops up, so you can see on his base, he's got Ares to the left with a Revite. He's got Golem and Valentina at the bottom. So also he's got Grimfiend and Skull Knight at the top. So this is going to be a fairly easy base as far as splitting, because he has his Golem and his Valentina on one side of the base. So what I do to combat this is I don't want to attack directly at them. So I drop my Dread Drake just to tank the towers, Ares Warlock to snipe. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop a bunch of these troops. And the reason why is as Dread Drake procs, my Ares, my Warlock, and my Dread Drake get, and actually Cupid as well, they all get to get a couple extra attacks and maybe even an extra proc or 2 off, just like it did so right there. So now I'm dropping my Skull Knight in. It's 2 on 2 now, one, or actually 2 on 3 now, 1 on 3. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop my Trinitar to give it the rest. He's going to go off, and now it's my whole team. You can see the Skull Knight is still pulled away. He doesn't come over until almost his Golem is dead, and the other hero that was there was dead. So it makes it a little bit easier as far as hitting it on the direct spot and getting the specific heroes in the specific placement, because it all does matter as far as how far their hero is going to come out and so on. So KS83 is another one of these bases. This base can be very difficult if you don't hit it the direct way. So the first thing I notice, there's an Ares with 5/5 Revite. I see the top side, there's a Vlad, not really that bad. He does have a Beast Tamer in there and a Golem at the bottom as well. I notice that there's no Valentina. That's going to make it a lot easier on my side. If I remember correctly, the Valentina is right here. I could be wrong on that, but I do know there's an Ares totem right here. So if we look at what I do, I'm going to use these Mecha Men, and I'm going to drop them in and get rid of both the Ares totem and as well his Ares proc. Oh, actually it was a Pumpkin Duke there, so not. So I got rid of the Pumpkin Duke, and then over here, that was the Ares Totem up here. He switched it up, I forgot. So now I got rid of the Ares Totem. I got rid of one of his procs. He's almost filled. So basically at this point, I just want to leave a point where I can take the arrows from him, and then I can snipe with my main hero. So I drop Skull Knight and Dread Drake in together. Since there's no Valentina, if there's a Valentina, it's much better off splitting the base in corners and not attacking the whole team. But in this case, there was none. So you can see my team keeps attacking, and this is pretty much going to be an easy wipe and make it pretty easy. So I'm going to take that. I'm going to skip all the way through to the next one just to reference my point again. And what I'm going to do, we're going to get on to, who is this, AC. Okay, this base was definitely a hard base, so let me show my drops and why I did this. There's Golem right here, and I can't tell if that's a Dreaddrake. It looks like that's a Dreaddrake, and an Ares up at the top. Basically what I'm doing is I'm leading away from the Ares, but I want to go directly at this Golem and Grimfiend. So I drop Skull Knight right here for the fact that he's going to come and attack these buildings here and go up the center and start attacking their heroes. He's not going to draw out these two heroes over here. Ares over here just to start attacking buildings because there was extra buildings, Warlock to the left, and then Cupid over on another building just to go off. And you can already see what my plan's working. There's 2 or 3 heroes right here, but his other heroes are sitting. Now, the best thing would have been for my Skull Knight to instantly start attacking him. In this case, that didn't happen. That's okay. So he's probably going to die just because of the sheer amount of heroes attacking him, but they couldn't attack and kill him before I got some of his heroes. So it still worked out pretty well. As my heroes die, I'm going to drop. I want Dreaddrake to keep tanking the arrow towers. And the reason why, so my Treadytar can go off, and because he'll only heal enough heroes for 4. So right there, they go off. His Skull Knight's dead. Everybody's dropped. Pretty much an easy wrap from that. I'm going to jump to the next one. It's the same thing every time. It's about attacking specific heroes. Right here again, 5/5 Golem at the bottom, I notice. Has Psy Shield out unless he's got a Warlock, which he does. Skull Knight, Harpy Queen as well. So what are we going to do on this base? Pretty easily. We're going to drop Skull Knight and Dreaddrake at the top. I usually drop Dreaddrake first once again, so he takes the arrows. And then from there, I'm going to drop Warlock to the right, Ares to the left, Cupid up top. And I want my Skull Knight attacking that base right here for this specific reason. So you can see his Golem is absolutely useless right now, and so is his Warlock. They're doing nothing. My whole team is tanking a Dreaddrake and not my whole team, but my Skull Knight and my Dreaddrake are tanking them. All my other heroes are able to keep attacking. So an Ares totem goes off, then a Santa totem. I have both. I have 2 heroes. I have Dreaddrake and Skull Knight. Actually, Cupid's still alive as well. They're not going to kill this. Right there, he goes off, but at that point, it's pretty much a wrap. I don't know why that Golem just spawned up, but I guess he decided to, and at that point, my Dreaddrake is tanking. So it's a very big portion as far as how you're attacking the base. If there's a Valentina in, it completely changes everything. When you look at a base, like when I spawn this up, let me play it so it doesn't just jump. When you're looking at this, there's no Valentina. It doesn't matter because the Valentina isn't going to keep going off and bringing their Golem to proc and go off. So in that case, I split and go the opposite side of them pretty much no matter what. Doesn't matter who's on the other side. I always attack from the other side. And that side is whatever the Valentina's not on. So if Valentina's on this base, I'm attacking from this way. If Valentina's on this base, I'm attacking from this way. This base still attacking this way. This base, I'm still attacking this way. The reason why, once again, they can't reach that far out when you attack right here. And that's pretty much what the point of it is. I'm going to draw 4 of their heroes out here. My team's going to tank right here, and those 2 become absolutely useless. So that can be used pretty much in any direction. Now, if you don't have to use Dreaddrake, you can also use Pixie and Reaper. Doesn't matter. I've used both of them. Had no problems as well. I did have to use a little bit more troops as far as not Mecha Men, but the Guardians, the small Guardians like I used it previously for the Harpy Queen and the Dreaddrake. So that can make your life a little bit easier as well. But it's all about breaking down the base. You can't just drop random heroes and hope for the best. It doesn't usually work too well. So everything is about splitting the base, especially with these bases. These bases make it pretty easily. You know, you want to target specific heroes. My main heroes I usually target are Skull Knight and Grimfiend first for that specific reason. They're the strongest heroes in the game as far as defense. The other heroes, Golem, as long as I can pull away from the Golem, I'm okay. There is sometimes if you can't take out the Golem or he continues to go off that you want to attack him dead on. So it just depends on what's happening with your specific heroes. If the Golem keeps going off and reviving their heroes or giving them health, you want to lead directly at him unless there's a Valentina, in which case you're going to do exactly like what I did on one of the bases when I only dropped my Dreaddrake in the beginning. I believe it was it wasn't KS, it was Igor. So on Igor, every time I would drop my heroes, his Golem would keep reviving. So what I did instead is I only dropped my Dreaddrake, let the other heroes proc, and used a bunch of heroes behind them, Guardians behind them. So it's all about noticing the fine details in that specific spot. I think this pretty much works on every base I do it, not just a cross base. So I hope this helped. I hope this makes you look at how you attack the bases a little bit differently. Like I said, there is a little bit of thought that goes into which way I'm attacking and where I'm dropping my specific heroes. And it does make it a lot easier. It tends to be, like I said, I usually end up around about 20 minutes or so attacking in Guild Wars, so it's not really that bad at all. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys liked it. If you want to like, comment, and subscribe, it'd be appreciated, and I am out.